Better late than never. Hi guys, welcome back to the blanket fort. So today I'm going to do the Faces of Horror tag. Created by Juan from Plagued by Visions, like 40,000 years ago. That's okay, here I am. I think someone tagged me at some point, but I can't remember who, so I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, let's just do the tag. Prompt number 1, a horror story that scared or disturbed you. So, by the way, Juan opened it to like books and stories and movies and everything, so I got movies and books here. So for this one, I can't say I've read a book that... Here's the thing, for me, when I hear this question, I feel like he means something that disturbed you, like, or scared you long term. There's a lot of books and movies, not really books actually, I don't really get that scared with books, but there are a lot of movies when you're scared while you're watching the movie. But there's only one, sorry about that sound, only one book, or movie I mean, that scared me long after I saw the movie, and that is The Grudge. Well, the Japanese are just really good at horror, I gotta say. I don't know that I've seen any Japanese horror since, because that was pretty traumatizing. But, yeah, what really scared me, honestly, is just the noise, because, I really care about sound during movies more than... Not more than the plot, that's stupid. But I really care about the sound and the background music and everything. And one thing that I find the Japanese, or like you might find more in Eastern Asian kind of movies, especially horror, is their use of silence. And I shit you not, nothing, sorry about the language, nothing is scarier to me. Like when there's sound all the time, it just totally... I don't want to say ruins it, but it's kind of like a predictor. But silence, dude, and that Grudge monster sound, ooh, creepy. And that one really just creeped me out like long after I saw the movie. The only one. So, okay, prompt number 2, a horror story that depressed you or made you cry. The only book that I read that physically made me cry was The Green Mile. Like, I cried twice. I laughed once. Both for the book and the movie. Although I have to say, when it comes to books, I don't cry. Like, my physical expression of emotions, be it smiling, crying, whatever you name it, isn't as strong as when you're watching a movie. So when I read the book, I just had like 1 or 2 tears. But the movie was like ugly crying to the max. Really bad. But The Green Mile, oh my gosh. Although I laughed a lot when Tom Hanks finally got to pee. That was hilarious. Prompt number 3, a horror story that made you laugh. Okay, well, aside from that scene where Tom Hanks gets to pee, so the first one I thought about was the Pet Sematary movie, just because I remember when it came out, the like 2019 version. Is it 2018 or 20? No, it's 2019. When it came out, I went to the movie theaters to see it. And spoiler alert, by the way, but not really. But at the end of the movie, like in the literal last 5 seconds of the movie, the cat, like, you get a pan out of the house, and then the cat just jumps on a branch, and you get it like right in front of the screen, and everyone just burst out laughing just because it was so random that the cat just magically showed up at the end. And I shit you not, I laughed so hard. I don't know what it was about it, like, you know, it's just like the de-stressor. Or It, okay, It, you know the movie It, I laughed so hard when the kid confronts his mom about his meds because he wants to see his friends, and he's just like, I know what these are! They're a gazebo! Instead of placebo. Yo, I laughed so hard. Anyway, I think that wasn't really the question. No, you know what one really made me laugh in terms of books is This Thing Between Us. Sorry for giving 20 answers to a prompt. This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. I did that buddy read with Mr. Morningstar, and he can attest to this, that I said this was hilarious. And this is not really a spoiler, by the way. This is not really a spoiler. But there's this scene where the main character is driving to Colorado, and he's like in the middle. It's like the winter. He's in the middle of nowhere, like on those roads, you know, driving his car, and he stops at this bar. And it's a very spooky, heavy ambiance. Like, his mind is cluttered. He's getting away from his life because he's so taken. And it's like, it's cold. He's, you know, everything. And he stops at this desolate bar in the middle of nowhere. And he opens the door. And the bartender's just like, howdy! Sorry, that was just, I laughed, audibly laughed when I read that. Plus I was reading the audiobook and the narrator, like, had no emotion. He's just like, the man entered the bar. Howdy, said the bartender, or something like that. I don't know, but it was really random and just very funny. I don't think that I can think of a specific horror anything that made me laugh all the way through, but I do think that a lot of horror things have like a comedic break in the middle to kind of either alleviate the situation or foreshadow something worse happening. You know what I mean? So I think that was what happened in all three of these situations. Not the Pet Cemetery, that was just stupid, but it was just a whole room of people being stupid together, which was beautiful. Prompt number 4, a horror story that made you angry. You know what one continues to make me angry is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. The reason for that is because, probably for the same reason Perfume by Patrick Susskind would make me angry, is because one of the main metaphors of the book is that people with differences, or like people that are considered monsters for being different, are social outcasts, are like really demonized and everything, and continue to be like on the ass end of society, to say the least. And I don't know, I just think it's what makes me angry is that it's just really relevant to this day, and it's one of those things where it's like, somehow you continue to talk about it, and somehow it never changes. I'm not gonna say never changes, but like, you get the point. I just think it's kind of, it makes me angry that such a motive is so timeless, you know? Or not a motive, but like, the storyline metaphor is still so timeless to this day, like 200 years later, you know? I don't know. Plus, I just really want to give Frankenstein's monster a hug. A big ol' hug. So, yeah. Coffee break. Number 5, a horror story that is important to you. So, I think a lot of people mentioned a horror story that is like a 5-star read or something to them. One horror story that's really important to me is the Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. So it wasn't really a 5-star read, but the reason that book is important to me is because when I started reading for fun after high school, all throughout my school years, I guess I never really read for fun because it was like, I associated reading with like homework and whatever. I mean, we've all been there, right? And then middle of high school-ish, actually we did To Kill a Mockingbird, and that's the first book that I think really made me want to read for fun. But the first book officially that I picked up like on my own for fun was the Amityville Horror, and I'm a bookworm now, so, you know, that book is important to me just for that reason. I have a lot of, you know, there's a lot I don't really like about that book. I mean, that's a different story, but that is the reason why it's so important to me. And final prompt number 6 is, a horror story that you can, no, a non-horror story that you consider horror. Literally 95% of 20th century historical fiction, like, there's horrible accounts of life at any point in human history, but humans really screwed the pooch when it came to the 20th century. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I can't really think off the top of my head of 3 books, 3 historical fictions from the 20th century that are not horror adjacent. But I thought, you know what? I thought about this meme, since we're not specific to any book, movie, or anything. I saw this meme on one of the Facebook, like, I follow, like, this group on Facebook called the Book Hangout Spot. I don't know. I can't remember where I saw it. Somewhere on Facebook algorithm. Who knows? But, it was this meme where you had, like, you know the 3 circles that kind of connect between the 2 and then between the 3? I'll throw up the meme if I can find it. But it's like 1984, Fahrenheit 451, and Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And then You Are Here was in the middle of the 3. And I was like, oh, that's not horror. I don't know what is. So, which is basically, if you don't know, I actually haven't read 1984 yet, but it's basically a totalitarian state, dystopian totalitarian state in which I guess the main character is seeking individualism. I don't know what that means, but that's kind of the gist. And then Brave New World is a society, a dystopian society where there's so much information, like easy access to all the information in the world, to where people don't even know if it's real information or fake information, or like basically a metaphor for the internet and fake news. Okay, like that's kind of what it is. Sort of what it is, but like 100 years before its time. And then Fahrenheit 451 is a dystopian society in which all books are censored and like all information is censored, and they're burning books and everything. And it's like, yeah, somehow we're living the 3 dystopians this 3 dystopian societies at the same time. So I think that's the real horror here. I guess the triple combo of those 3 books are what I consider horror. On that fine note, I hope you enjoyed this tag. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!